All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to jump into two real heavyweights in the world of strategic planning, SWOT and PESTLE. Now, you've probably heard of them, right? They're both super powerful tools, but here's the thing. They do completely different jobs. So let's get right into it.
You know, it all really boils down to this one big question. How on earth do you make smart plans when the world feels so complex and is always changing? It's a huge puzzle, right? Well, that's exactly what frameworks like SWOT and PESTLE were invented to help us solve.
Okay, so here's a quick look at our game plan. We'll touch on that planning puzzle. Then we'll look in the mirror with SWOT. Grab the telescope for PESTLE. See how they stack up in a little showdown. And finally, this is the key part, we'll see why they're so much better when they work together.
So, let's talk about this strategic puzzle. Look, you can't just run on a gut feeling. I mean, sometimes it works, but for a real strategy, you need a structured way to see what's going on. And that, my friends, is where this whole idea of strategic planning comes into play.
Honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. You wouldn't start a cross-country road trip without a map, right? Or at least GPS. Well, these frameworks, they're the tools that help you draw that map for your business. They show you exactly where you're starting from and what the terrain looks like ahead.
All right, let's kick things off with the one pretty much everyone has heard of, SWOT analysis. Think of this as your mirror. It's the tool you use to take a good, hard look at your own organization. So what does SWOT even stand for? It's pretty straightforward. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's really one of the most fundamental ways to get a snapshot of your business at a specific moment in time. Okay, now this is probably the most important thing to get about SWOT. The first two, strengths and weaknesses, are internal. These are things inside your company that you can, for the most part, control. But the other two, opportunities and threats, those are external. They're happening out in the big wide world, and you have to react to them.
And here it is, the classic 2x2 grid. I'm sure you've seen this before. In one corner, you've got your strengths, what you're great at. Then your weaknesses, where you need to improve. Down below, you've got opportunities floating around out there, and of course, the threats you need to watch out for. It looks simple, but man, it's a powerful way to see everything in one place.
Okay, theory is great, but let's make this real. Take a giant like Starbucks. A huge strength? Their brand is recognized everywhere. A weakness? Well, their coffee isn't cheap, right? That high price point. An opportunity? There are always new markets to expand into. And a threat? Oh man, the competition is intense, from tiny local coffee shops to other big chains.
And hey, here's a fun little piece of trivia for you. A lot of people think SWOT analysis was born at Harvard, but it actually wasn't. Research shows it grew out of something called the SOFT approach, which was developed way back in the 60s at the Stanford Research Institute. So yeah, its history is a little different than the popular story.
Okay, so we've looked in the mirror with SWOT. Now, it's time to grab the telescope, and that's PESTLE. This tool is all about looking out, far beyond your own four walls, to scan the horizon for those massive trends that are going to shape your world.
So what is PESTLE? It's all about analyzing the macro environment. That's just a fancy way of saying the big picture. It's a framework that helps you make sense of all those huge forces of change by breaking them down into 6 key categories. And those 6 categories are political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. PESTLE. See? Each one of these is a massive external force that can totally change the game for your business.
Let's zoom in on just one of those for a second. Political factors. This is all about how government actions can shake things up for you. We're talking about new laws, trade deals, or even massive government spending on things like digital transformation.
And when we say massive, we mean massive. Check this out. Governments around the world are expected to spend a whopping $3.4 trillion on digital transformation just in 2024. That kind of money doesn't just make ripples, it creates tidal waves of opportunity and change across entire industries.
Or how about technological factors? This one's huge right now. Think about something like AI. It's a classic double-edged sword, isn't it? On one hand, it could make your business way more efficient. On the other hand, it could power a brand new competitor that makes what you do totally obsolete.
And of course, with all this amazing new tech comes a dark side. The cost of cybercrime is exploding. It's projected to hit an unbelievable $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. I mean, that's a technological threat that literally no one can afford to just ignore.
Okay, so we have SWOT, the mirror, and PESTLE, the telescope. Let's put them side by side and really nail down the key differences.
Let's break it down real simple. First up, focus. SWOT looks both inside and outside your company. PESTLE, it's only looking outside. Then there's scope. SWOT is micro, it's all about you. PESTLE is macro, it's about the whole world you operate in. And finally, use. SWOT is great for figuring out where you stand right now, while PESTLE is all about spotting what's coming down the road.
All right, and this brings us to the main event, the big takeaway. Because after all that, you might be thinking, okay, so which one should I use? But here's the secret. You don't choose. The real magic happens when you realize they're not rivals, they're partners.
Think of it this way, and if you remember one thing, remember this. The telescope, that's your PESTLE analysis, is what helps you make sense of what you see in the mirror, your SWOT. It gives you the context. It explains why those opportunities and threats are even there in the first place. So, let me show you how this actually works. Those political trends you spot with your PESTLE telescope, boom, those become the opportunities and threats in your SWOT. That crazy technological shift you saw coming, well, that could become a new strength for you, but only if you jump on it. If you don't, it becomes a weakness. You see? The PESTLE analysis literally feeds information directly into your SWOT. So the bottom line is this. Doing that big picture homework with PESTLE first makes your SWOT analysis so much smarter. It takes it from just being a simple checklist and turns it into a genuinely strategic roadmap for the future. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When you look through your own telescope, what's the single biggest external force that's impacting your goals right now? Is it political, economic, technological? Because figuring that out, well, that's the real first step toward building a strategy that can actually stand the test of time.